Well, hello everybody once again. Welcome to the M&P Conservative Media Network. I'm Christopher Mader from KTNTradio.com, and we're just wrapping up an absolute fantastic afternoon. Great conversation with Russell Taub. He's running a great event going on here, and we just had a great speaker, Kenneth Abramowitz.
You got it, Abramowitz, right?
There you go. Talking about the fact that we're in World War III and the fact that, well, we were all asking a lot of questions about why we're not prosecuting this the way we're supposed to be, and some of the forces of good and evil that are basically dictating the direction we're going in. I'm talking to my good friend Mark Alliegro, and he's running for Congress, correct? Congress, not
Right.
state.
U.S. House, 9th Congressional District in Massachusetts.
There you go. And Mark and I met a couple of years ago. He's been on my show before. 2014 he called into the show, and I had just started getting things going again with my YouTube channel. But Mark and I actually met even before that, and I think it was in 2013, we were talking to the various Tea Party groups, trying to get some sort of coalition going together and get all the different Tea Party groups together. And I think I want to lead that with the question, and then we can get into your campaign. I think this is also goes to what Ken was talking about, that we're not seeing the big picture here. We're not seeing the larger problem here. We keep trying to operate in our little fiefdoms, our little neighborhoods, our little kingdoms, and we're not actually looking at the larger picture and trying to actually go after the Achilles heel of our enemy, whether it be Islam, whether it be just even socialism, or even the problems with like our various Tea Party groups, how we keep just living in our own little neighborhoods. How do we address that? How do we get past that?
That's a tough question, but what you have to do is you have to drop the ego.
Yes.
That's number one. You got to realize that we have a common cause and a common enemy, even though it's a relatively complex enemy. It's a multi-headed enemy, but it's a common enemy. Recognize the enemy, recognize the common cause, and drop the ego.
Sure. What you did it? You ran before in 2014. You're doing it again. Why? What's the impetus? What got you into it in the first place?
Yeah. Well, a little background. So we ran in 2014. That was my first run at any significant political office. I'm a member of town meeting in Falmouth. That's a small deal compared to this. And we came very close. We were outspent almost 5-1, and we came within 521 votes.
That's a statistical dead heat tie.
It is. We did very well, and you know, that was my first run. This time we come back with the same outstanding strategy team that we had before. We come back with the volunteers that we had before. We had hundreds of volunteers before. We had more volunteers than the other guys all put together. And but this time we have a seasoned candidate who's learned a thing or two, and to great advantage.
You've got name recognition. Oh, there's that Mark guy. He's running again.
I do, and you know, it's still not the same as being an incumbent. It's not like you walk down the streets and everybody recognizes you. But I have to tell you that when I'm out collecting signatures, or if I'm at somebody else's reception or event, or, for instance, this past Saturday, we were at the 9th District Republican Caucus in Plymouth. And a lot of those people knew me, and some who had never even met me before said, "Oh, I followed your campaign last time." So there is improved name recognition.
So was that the caucus that was, what, April 30th? There was, because I know there was a whole caucus. Trump was taking most of the delegates. Is that what you're talking about?
Right. That was April 30th, this past Saturday in Plymouth. Yeah.
Sure. How did the presumptive nominee do?
You know, it was a completely different story than you see in some other states.
Really?
You saw the ground game in Massachusetts tilting to the Trump side this time. So we hear all the time that Mr. Cruz had a tremendous ground game in this state or that state. In this state, the Trump team was very organized. They had a clear slate, and they had good people organizing and pulling people out. And at the end of the day, they got their slate. They mopped up.
And the pundits is talking about that if Trump takes a nomination, oh, we're going to lose the House, we're going to lose the Senate. I don't think so. I've not seen that. The event that we were at tonight, a lot of great intellect being bantered around. The interviews that I had before, a lot of people getting the name recognition out there, talking to people, and people are waking up. Do you see that we're going to lose that, or do you think that actually the Trump phenomenon, it's going to just start dragging all the rest of you guys along with them?
Yeah. One of the things I've enjoyed about this political season, more than anything, is watching the talking heads tripping over their own chins because they don't have feet, right?
Oh, it's amazing to watch.
They've been so wrong. It's almost been like they're willfully wrong. And it's really easy to predict what's going to happen because you just look at what they tell you and you choose, if not quite the opposite, you just know that they're advising us the wrong way.
I know that in the past, the shenanigans went on, but they were mostly behind closed doors. The press never reported on them. As I said to you when we spoke in 14 and some of the other interviews I've done with candidates, one of the questions I ask is about, GOP funding. What is the GOP doing? And we hear all the time, oh, the GOP isn't doing anything for me. They've already picked their golden boy. I think this year is the first year that we've actually seen, like you said, the pundits tripping over themselves because we're seeing it live on the television right in front of us, and we're sitting back saying, no, come on, we know what's really happening. I think this is the first time that you're right. I think the RNC has basically stuck their foot in the mouth, and America sees it.
Yeah. Well, there was just an article a few days ago. I don't remember the outlet, and I won't even repeat the outlet, but it was an assessment of the current status of the congressional races in Massachusetts. And I was very proud, first of all, to hear them say that in the whole state, there's been only one campaign that's raising significant funds, and that's us. So we got some good notice there. Although the article wasn't generally in favor of Republican congressional candidates, as you can imagine. But their point was that the Mass GOP is going to keep hands off and just not get involved. And I disagree with that. The time will be right. The time will come. I mean, I have to prove myself to the Mass GOP too. I have to show them that we can raise the funds, we can build the organization, we can make the impact. They're going to come on board. I'm not worried about it. The sooner I see it, the happier I'll be. But they're going to come on board because this is a winning race. The 9th Congressional District in Massachusetts is the one that we pluck first, and then from there, the other dominoes will come over time. So we've got to start somewhere.
Sure, Mark, thanks you so much for this time. Have a good night, and thanks for coming.
Thank you very much.
Christopher Mader, the MNP Conservative Media Network, KTNTradio.com.
You want to endorse any of us?
Wonderful. Thank you.